The warehouse door closed, locked from inside. 20 witnesses, 2 masters, no rules, no referee, no mercy. Wong Jack Man bowed. Bruce Lee bowed back. What happened in the next 7 minutes would be hidden for 40 years. And when the truth finally came out, it would shake the martial arts world to its core. Oakland, California. Winter 1964. Bruce Lee arrived at his Jun Fan Gung Fu Institute on a cold December morning to find something that made his blood run cold. A red envelope, taped to his door. Traditional Chinese calligraphy. Formal. Ancient. A challenge. Inside, the letter was written in classical Chinese. Every character perfectly brushed. Master Bruce Lee, you have violated the sacred traditions of Chinese martial arts by teaching non-Chinese students. You claim your modified methods are superior to thousand-year traditions. You disrespect the ancestors. You shame our culture. I, Wong Jack Man, representing the traditional martial arts community of San Francisco, challenge you to Lei Tai combat. If I win, you close your school and stop teaching foreigners. If you win, I will never question your methods again. December 20th, 1964. Private location. Witnesses only. Wong Jack Man, Northern Shaolin Master. Bruce read it 3 times. His hands steady but his mind racing. This wasn't his first challenge. Since opening his school and teaching Westerners, James Coburn, Steve McQueen, others, he'd received threats, anonymous letters, angry phone calls from traditionalists who believed Kung Fu was sacred knowledge that should never be shared with outsiders. But this was different. Wong Jack Man wasn't some angry voice on the phone. He was legitimate, a respected Northern Shaolin master, connected to the powerful Chinese martial arts community in San Francisco. If Bruce refused this challenge, he'd be labeled a coward, his reputation destroyed, his school finished. If he accepted and lost, same result. Everything he'd built would be over. Linda found him standing motionless, staring at the letter. 8 months pregnant with their first child, Brandon. She read over his shoulder. What are you going to do? I don't have a choice. Bruce's voice was quiet. If I refuse, they'll say I'm afraid, that my methods don't work, that I'm all talk. And if you fight, then I prove whether everything I believe is true or just theory. He looked at her. Wing Chun, boxing, fencing. I've been taking techniques from everywhere, breaking traditional rules, creating Jeet Kune Do. Wong represents pure classical training, 40 years of nothing but Shaolin. This isn't just 2 people fighting, it's 2 philosophies. You're going to do it, not a question. She knew him. Yes, then you better win. Bruce trained differently for the next 2 weeks. Not harder. He always trained hard, but smarter. He studied Northern Shaolin style. Fast hands, wide stances, long-range techniques, completely different from Wing Chun's close-range focus. He talked to James Lee, his friend and training partner. Wong's got 20 years on me in traditional training. Pure classical technique. I've got what? 6 years, seriously studying, and half of that I've spent modifying and adapting. You have something he doesn't, James said. You're not locked into one system. You can adapt mid-fight. He can't. You think that's enough? I think you're about to find out if everything you teach is real or bullshit. Blunt, but accurate. December 20th arrived cold and gray. Oakland winter. Bruce Lee walked into that warehouse thinking he understood what this fight meant. He had no idea that what happened in those 7 minutes would haunt him for the rest of his life. The location was kept secret until the last moment. An empty warehouse in Oakland's industrial district. Bruce arrived with his witnesses, James Lee. Linda, despite being heavily pregnant, she insisted. A few senior students. Small group. Serious faces. Wong Jack Man was already there with his witnesses. Larger group. 15 people, all traditional martial artists, all wearing formal kung fu uniforms, all watching Bruce with expressions that ranged from skepticism to open hostility. The warehouse was vast. Cold concrete floors, high ceilings with exposed beams, industrial lights casting harsh shadows. In the center of the empty space, someone had marked a square area with tape, 20 feet by 20 feet. Not a formal Lei Tai platform, just boundaries. Wong Jack Man stood near the marked area, mid-30s, thin but wiry, classic Northern Shaolin build, not muscular but incredibly flexible and fast. He wore traditional black kung fu uniform. His stance was perfect classical form. Decades of training visible in every line of his body. Bruce wore simple black pants and a dark shirt. No uniform, no ceremony, just combat clothes. An older Chinese man stepped forward, Wong's senior student. He spoke in Cantonese. The challenge is simple. Combat continues until one fighter cannot continue, admits defeat, or is knocked out of the boundary. No eye strikes, no groin strikes, everything else permitted. The result of this fight will determine whether Bruce Lee continues teaching non-Chinese students. Bruce's jaw tightened. That wasn't in the letter. Those are Wong Sifu's terms. Do you accept or refuse? Backing out now would be admitting he was afraid. Exactly what they wanted. I accept. The two men approached the center. Wong bowed deeply, formal, respectful, traditional. Bruce bowed back, equally respectful. This was serious. This was real. They took their positions. Wong settled into a perfect northern Shaolin stance. Weight distributed evenly. Hands high in guard position. Body completely relaxed yet coiled with potential energy. Every movement precise. Textbook classical form. Bruce took his Jeet Kune Da stance. Weight more forward. Hands in modified boxing guard. Body angled to present less target. Less aesthetically traditional. More practical. For 30 seconds neither moved. Circling slowly. Watching. Studying breathing patterns. Weight distribution. Eye focus. Looking for tells in shoulder movement. Hip rotation. Wong moved first. A lightning-fast straight punch aimed at Bruce's face. Classical northern Shaolin long fist technique. Incredibly fast. Bruce slipped it by inches. Felt the air displacement past his cheek. Countered with a low kick to Wong's lead leg. Wong checked it. Absorbed the impact without losing balance. They separated. Circled again. The next exchange came faster. Wong threw a combination. High punch, middle punch, low kick. All flowing together. Different levels. Different angles. Classical combination attack. Bruce blocked 2 strikes. Took the kick on his forearm. Felt the impact. Wong's conditioning was real. Bruce countered with a straight lead, one of his signature techniques targeting Wong's face. Wong deflected it with a circular parry. Tried to trap Bruce's arm using classical chin net technique. Bruce pulled free, created distance. 2 minutes in, both men were testing each other, probing for weaknesses like chess masters. Neither wanted to commit fully yet. Then Wong changed strategy. He pressed forward aggressively. Classical northern Shaolin advancing footwork. Small measured steps while maintaining perfect upright posture. Hands flowing in continuous motion. Each step calculated. Each strike part of a larger pattern. Bruce defended but found himself being pushed back, toward the boundary. Another few feet and he'd step out. Lose instantly. Everything over. He exploded forward with a sidekick that stopped Wong's advance cold. Reset to center. Wong nodded slightly. Respect for the technique. 5 minutes in, the fight intensified. Both men sweating despite the cold warehouse. Breathing controlled but heavier. This wasn't sparring. This was real. Full power. Full commitment. Every mistake could end it. Wong landed a solid back fist to Bruce's jaw. Bruce's head snapped back. Saw stars for a second. Tasted blood. Wong pressed the advantage, throwing a rapid combination trying to capitalize on the moment. Bruce defended on instinct, his training taking over while his conscious mind caught up, covered up, absorbed strikes on his arms and shoulders, waited for the opening. There. Wong overextended slightly on a high punch. Bruce exploded with a straight blast, rapid-fire chain punching directly up the center. Wing Chun technique. 5 punches in less than 2 seconds. Overwhelming offensive pressure. Wong tried to block but couldn't keep up with the speed. 2 punches got through, one to the chest, one to the face. Wong stumbled back. First real damage. Blood from his lip. The warehouse went completely silent except for both fighters breathing. 7 minutes in, both men were showing real fatigue. Northern Shaolin requires constant movement. Jeet Kune Do requires explosive bursts. Both styles are exhausting at this intensity. Wong tried to control distance, use his long-range techniques. Bruce kept closing the gap, negating the reach advantage. Classical versus modern. Range versus close quarters. Tradition versus innovation. Then something happened that nobody expected. Wong threw a beautiful northern Shaolin spinning kick. Textbook perfect form, the kind that takes 10 years just to learn properly. High, fast, powerful. Bruce saw it coming, ducked under the arc, used Wong's rotation against him, swept the standing leg with a low hook kick. Physics did the rest. Wong fell hard, hit the concrete floor back first with a sound that echoed through the warehouse. Wind knocked out, head bouncing slightly off the floor. Bruce was on him instantly. Mounted position, full control. Wong pinned beneath him. Bruce's fist raised, cocked back, ready to strike. One punch from this position would end it, decisively, completely, prove his method superior. Save his school, win everything. All he had to do was throw it. Bruce Lee's fist was raised. Wong Jack Man was helpless, and in that split second, Bruce made a decision that would change both their lives forever. Bruce looked down at Wong. Their eyes met. He saw something unexpected. Not fear, not even anger. Respect. Even in defeat, Wong maintained his dignity, his honor. Bruce's fist stayed raised. The warehouse held its breath, but something stopped him. Why had Wong challenged him? Not out of personal hatred. Wong believed, truly believed, that Bruce was damaging Chinese martial arts by teaching foreigners, violating sacred traditions. Wong was fighting for something he held sacred. Wrong, maybe, but honorable. And what was Bruce fighting for? Not just to win, not just to prove he was stronger.
He was fighting to prove that martial arts should evolve, adapt, be shared. That tradition was important, but shouldn't be a prison. Destroying Wong wouldn't prove that. It would just prove Bruce could hit harder. Bruce lowered his fist. Slowly, deliberately. Wong's eyes widened in confusion. Bruce stood, stepped back, extended his hand to help Wong up. Wong stared at the hand. Suspicious. The fight is over. Bruce said in Cantonese, "You fought with honor. I don't need to hurt you to prove my point. But the challenge, I won. We both know it. But what do I gain by humiliating you?" Bruce kept his hand extended. "You're a master. You've trained 40 years. You fought to protect what you believe in. That deserves respect." Wong slowly took Bruce's hand, stood unsteadily, blood from his lip, pride wounded more than his body. Wong's witnesses looked uncertain. One started to protest. Wong raised his hand, silencing him. "Bruce Lee has won," Wong said formally. "The challenge is satisfied." Bruce bowed deeply. "You are a worthy opponent. Your technique is exceptional. The outcome could easily have been different." Wong bowed back, less deep at first, then matching Bruce's bow. "You showed mercy when you could have shown cruelty. That is greater than technique. Tradition matters," Bruce said. "I just believe tradition should grow, become stronger by incorporating new ideas." Wong was quiet, processing. "Then perhaps there is wisdom in that. You're welcome to visit my school, see what I teach. Maybe we can learn from each other, and you would be welcome at mine." Wong paused. "Though I think I have more to learn from you than you from me." They shook hands. Genuine, not just formal. James pulled Bruce aside as the groups began to leave. "You had him. Why'd you stop?" "Because winning isn't always about knocking someone down. Sometimes it's about building bridges. If I'd destroyed Wong, he'd spend the rest of his life believing his way was weak. By showing mercy, maybe he learns there's room for different approaches. And if he challenges you again, he won't." Bruce watched Wong leaving with his students. He got what he came for. An answer to his question, just not the answer he expected. Linda approached, hand on her pregnant belly. "That was the right thing to do, was it? I might have just made an enemy who'll come back stronger." Or, Linda said, "You made a friend." Bruce Lee thought that warehouse fight was the end of the story. He had no idea it was just the beginning. And that 10 years later, Wong Jack Man would return with something that would shock everyone. Los Angeles, 1969. 5 years later, Bruce Lee was in his Bel Air home training when the phone rang. A voice he didn't immediately recognize, speaking Cantonese with a San Francisco accent. "Sifu Lee, this is Chen Wei. I was Wong Jack Man's student. I witnessed your fight in 1964. I want to train with you. Learn Jeet Kune Tudo." Bruce was silent. This was unexpected. Why? Because after that fight, Wong Sifu changed. He started questioning things, experimenting, combining techniques. He said you taught him that day that being strong doesn't mean being rigid. "Last month he told me I'd learned everything he could teach. He said if I wanted to truly grow, I should find you." Wong said that, once with character. "Go learn from him what I couldn't teach you." Bruce felt something tighten in his chest. Where is Wong Sifu now? Still in San Francisco, still teaching, but differently now. He incorporates ideas from different styles. He even teaches some non-Chinese students. A pause. "He says he learned that from you." After the call, Bruce sat quietly for a long time. He'd thought that fight meant he'd won and Wong had lost, but maybe they'd both won something. The story of the fight began spreading. Distorted, exaggerated. Some versions claimed Bruce had knocked Wong out in seconds. Others said Wong had never landed a punch. Others said it lasted 3 minutes, not 7. Bruce never corrected the stories, never gave interviews about it. When asked, he'd say, "It happened. That's all that matters. The details are private." But the legend grew. The day Bruce Lee fought Wong Jack Man became a myth in martial arts circles. Nobody knew exactly what happened except the witnesses, and they'd been sworn to secrecy. Hong Kong, 19. Bruce was filming Way of the Dragon when he got a telegram from San Francisco. Wong Jack Man's student, Chen Wei, the one who'd called years earlier. "Wong Sifu is ill. Cancer. Wants to see you. Please come if possible." Bruce was in the middle of production. Couldn't leave. He sent a telegram back. "Cannot travel now. Tell Wong Sifu he fought with honor. He has my respect always." 3 months later, another telegram. Wong Jack Man had died. At his funeral, his students placed his Northern Shaolin sash in the casket. Beside it, they placed a photo, Bruce Lee from a magazine cover, and a handwritten note from Wong. "This man defeated me and showed me mercy. He taught me that strength is knowing when not to use power. He showed me a master's true character." Wong Jack Man, 1972. Linda found him there, eyes distant. "What are you thinking? That fight lasted 7 minutes, but I think it'll matter more than all my films combined." "Why?" "Because the films show what I can do. That fight showed who I am, but the story didn't end with Wong's death." 40 years later, someone discovered something that would finally reveal what really happened in that warehouse. Oakland, California. Documentary filmmaker Rick Wing was researching Bruce Lee's early life, interviewing people who knew him. tracking down witnesses. He found Linda Lee, now in her 60s. She agreed to talk. Everyone wants to know about the Wong Jack Man fight, she said. It's become this myth. People have written books with completely made-up details. Some claim Bruce won in 2 minutes. Some claim it was a draw. None of them were there. What really happened? Linda was quiet for a moment. I was 8 months pregnant, standing in a freezing warehouse, watching my husband fight for everything we'd built. It lasted 7 minutes, maybe 8. Both men fought incredibly. It was close. Bruce won. Wong couldn't continue, but it wasn't the one-sided destruction some people claim. Why has the real story been hidden? Because Bruce didn't want it to be about him beating someone. He wanted it to be about something bigger. She paused. But there's something nobody knows. Wait here. She returned with a box. Inside, a reel of film. 8mm. James Lee brought a camera. Nobody knew. He filmed the whole thing from the corner. Bruce didn't know until years later. James gave him the film before he died. Bruce never watched it. He gave it to me, said I should decide what to do with it. Have you watched it? Once. The night Bruce died, I watched it, trying to understand who he was, what he believed in. Can I see it? Linda looked at the film reel for a long time. Yes, but not just you. Everyone. It's time the truth came out. The film release, the footage appeared in a Bruce Lee documentary. 7 minutes of grainy 8mm film. 2 masters. 1 warehouse. The truth. The martial arts world exploded. Forums crashed from traffic. Experts analyzed every frame. The fight was everything and nothing like the legends. It was competitive, close. Both men landed strikes. Both men showed incredible skill. Wong's technique was beautiful, classical perfection. Bruce's technique was raw, effective adaptation. But the ending was what shocked everyone. The moment Bruce had Wong pinned, fist raised, then lowering it, helping him up, the mutual respect. Comments flooded in from around the world. This is what mastery looks like. Real strength is knowing when not to use power. Bruce Lee won the fight but refused to humiliate his opponent. That's character. Wong Jack Man fought for his beliefs. Bruce Lee fought for his. Both showed honor. The most viewed comment, with 50,000 likes, came from someone claiming to be Wong's grandson. My grandfather spoke of this fight until he died. He said Bruce Lee defeated him twice, once with skill, once with character. The first hurt his pride. The second changed his life. He spent his remaining years understanding how someone could be so strong yet so merciful. Eventually he understood. Bruce wasn't fighting to destroy. He was fighting to teach. The greatest lesson was when to stop fighting. My grandfather died believing Bruce Lee was the greatest martial artist he ever faced, not because of his fists, but because of his heart. Thank you for releasing this footage. Now the world can see what my grandfather saw, what a true master looks like. Present day. The warehouse where they fought was demolished in 1998. A small martial arts school stands there now. Run by Chen Wei, the student Wong Jack Man sent to train with Bruce Lee 50 years ago, now 74 years old. On the wall, 3 photos. Wong Jack Man in Northern Shaolin stance, Bruce Lee in Jeet Kune stance, and between them, a still from the 8mm footage. Bruce helping Wong up, hands clasped. A young student asks, Sifu, why is that middle picture most important? Chen Wei smiles, because that moment shows what martial arts is really about. Not destroying your opponent, not proving you're stronger, but knowing when strength isn't necessary. But Wong Sifu lost, right? He lost the fight, but he won something bigger, wisdom. Bruce Lee could have humiliated him, broken him. Instead, he showed mercy. That mercy taught Wong Sifu more than any technique could. I don't understand. Wong Sifu spent 40 years learning how to fight. In 7 minutes, Bruce Lee taught him when not to. That's the lesson martial arts masters spend lifetimes learning. The ultimate technique is knowing when not to use technique. Is that what Jeet Kune means? Jeet Kune means the way of the intercepting fist. But Bruce Lee's real teaching was deeper. Intercept violence before it escalates. Stop fights before they start. And when you must fight, use minimum force. Win with skill, not destruction. The student looks at the photo. They became friends, not friends. Something better. Mutual respect. Wong Sifu changed his teaching because of that fight. Started adapting, combining styles, teaching foreigners. And Bruce Lee spoke of Wong Sifu with respect for the rest of his life. Chen Wei touches the photo. 7 minutes that lasted 40 years. That's the real power of martial arts. Not what happens in the fight, what happens after. White text on black. The 1964 fight between Bruce Lee and Wong Jack Man lasted approximately 7 to 8 minutes. Both men honored their agreement to keep details private. Wong Jack Man continued teaching until his death in 1972. His students say he became more open to new ideas and methods after the fight. Bruce Lee never publicly discussed the fight's details, saying only, "It happened, that's all that matters." The 8mm footage was released in 2005, 32 years after Bruce Lee's death. It remains one of the only recordings of Bruce Lee in actual combat. Chen Wei still teaches in Oakland, combining Northern Shaolin and Jeet Kune Do, honoring both masters. The warehouse was demolished in 1998. A plaque marks the location. Here, two masters fought not to destroy each other, but to understand truth. Final image, the still from the 8mm footage. Bruce's hand extended, Wong taking it, both men bruised, sweating, but showing mutual respect. Voiceover, Bruce Lee's actual voice. Knowing is not enough, we must apply. Willing is not enough, we must do. But sometimes, the greatest action is choosing not to act.